Okay. Red feel or Zaz. I don't want to steal the thunder. Zaz, you
No,
can.
I'm passing this off to Red this session.
Okay, Red, feel free to recap
Oh,
what
well,
happened last time.
last time we had a bit of a more of a tense opening as Daniel woke to some loud banging and a lovely visit from a very much determined man as the head of his commander, Brick, was plopped into his room as a man came in here with a few choice words for Daniel, essentially. Basically saying that the Red Demon says hello, and that if they will lose more puppets if they continue on this course, but basically pisses them off, essentially. Mostly harking back to the fact that Daniel's earlier, his biggest achievement, first biggest achievement, was using the poisons of the Red Demon's house, basically to take out a target. So they probably won't have to be tied with that type of event. Essentially, as their name was used to take out someone else they didn't target themselves. Daniel seemed to understand this, the assailant having disappeared and left after making his point very much known. Daniel called a cleanup crew, got Daniel and his lovely spy master to start working, as now they have to clean up, deal with this, and possibly deal with the fact that well, Brick is now dead, and not even Brick is dead, but apparently there are other investments. Well, from the time I can never say the name right, so I'm not gonna try. Was also murdered as well earlier. So this is all a whole bunch of bullshit in Daniel's mind, as he did not take any sleep and was a bit shaken up with that, as Scott and Fiala and everyone else was made known about what happened essentially. So with Scott doing some investigations and his spy master starting that out, they were preparing to see what's going on as they had to reach out to their previous masters to let them know. But apparently they also reached out to them at one point saying like, yeah, we're here to pick up the two bodies. Which probably peeved off Daniel, as it seems to be that they are aware that there was also another one of their spies here, and they seem to know. So that means they're either being played or something else is going on. He wants to get down to the point, as now they have to worry about that as well as a point of contact. And Daniel was, like I said, very shaken up with the pep talk of Scott, his heir, reminding him that we have no masters. Daniel reoriented himself and began to start working, as now they need to find hopefully some evidence to see what's going on, at least enough to leverage against more profit, or at least these people who seem to be either using him and playing him for more of a fool than he would like, essentially. Um, there was well, things got even worse when Daniel went out to prepare for the further day, and he came upon the, well, looks like a laughing reunion between Peter, this mysterious well, high profile person of the Molotov company, as well as Brick, the man whose head was in his room not too long ago, seemingly well off and doing great, as Peter had came to apologize for the gift basket like he previously told Daniel and Scott that he was going to do, or at least Daniel at that wise, and was trying to make amends. It seemed to be doing pretty well. Daniel, of course, let everyone know is now that there's a body with Brick's head downstairs, and there's also this Brick in front of him. And well, this is just making things worse or more annoying for him as a whole. Um, with that, Daniel was able to get too much information from Peter, as all he seems to be just like, yeah, I just met up with this guy, talked with him. Everything's fine, essentially. So Scott, the heir, took it upon himself to make a visit to Peter to hopefully see his angle, see if he knows more, or figure out if he can find something that Daniel may have missed, because he's a better people pleaser or talker of people than Daniel in that regard. He also decided to bring their newest member to their house service, Fiala, to see if she could be of use in that regard, which she tried to help, but honestly didn't really come out to be much, as when Scott confronted Peter into a much more of a cordial hello, Peter seemed to be disappointed with the whole thing. Not necessarily sad, but was expecting more, as Scott was not able to understand or get the personality of Peter. It kind of threw him off, as they kind of left with Scott mostly being played by the fiddle of Peter, who seemed to reveal, like, yeah, I'm working on these other projects. I plan to expand myself to almost every city. I have this big idea I want to get done, and you can't really understand it. And Scott was thrown for a loop, as now he is kind of almost defeated somewhat by Peter, as he left that conversation. While that was going on, Daniel was dealing with the body of this new Brick, or maybe the real Brick, who knows, as the autopsy reports did not prove to be anything else or show any information. Even with them going over it, they couldn't really find anything that would tell them this would be a foul play or anything differently. Though Fiala did take a moment to check on Chalk the brick, and they seemed to be the same similar brick that she met anyway, at the very least. As they had a conversation and said we'll talk to each other later, essentially, as she went off to go check the body of Brick. And the only thing she was able to find out was there was an odd smell to the body. Nothing like something that would be decayed at this point that she reported back to Scott, which also put Daniel in a fever as now that there might be a chance to show more evidence. Though, even with that information, the second, third look and the continued look by the medical staff didn't reveal anything that could be useful to him. Scott even had a conversation with Brick, and it seemed to be, at least for him, was the real Brick. So there's a lot of theories going on for Scott and trying to figure out why and what this is. Some of them wild speculations, maybe something closer to the truth, who knows. As eventually these benefactors who came to collect the bodies that were there had appeared, very much House Charybdis, and of course, the Benedict who they've talked to as well before, who didn't seem to be all cordial or willing to talk to any of us necessarily, and also seemed to not be too friendly to Fiala as a whole. As they got the bodies prepared for that and had a private conversation with Daniel, essentially telling him, well, this company that you're working with, delete that contract, essentially, destroy these buildings, get them out of here, and get rid of that witch that's in your service, because we do not think that this is worth pursuing. And if you wish for us to continue this relationship, kind of almost, then it's best if you do what we want. Daniel, of course, did a diplomatic thing by saying, give me time. I can't just do this all in one night. I need to untangle myself from this company. And I'll get that done. And they seemed to take his word for it as they left and took their goods with them. Daniel, of course, had a conversation with both his main house advisors, and told them a couple different stories. One for his spy master, he told him like, "Hey, I'm not gonna choose this one. Don't worry about it. This no, it's gonna be between you. I'm gonna tell Scott something else differently. So don't make a big deal about this." And then with Scott, he told him, "I'm gonna choose this place instead option. Don't freak out. Try to see if you can find anything from that Bene Gesserit, as Scott seems to be Scott believes he can get some information out of her, or at least persuade her from looking too deeply about what they're planning to do, because it's going to be between him and Scott, basically, as it used to be. Scott decided to play off an innocent, drunken guy to Fiala, as he seemed to be trying to push a narrative and have her open up to him and trust him. There was a bit of skepticism on Fiala's point, as she seemed to, after hearing Scott's voice, was like, "Hey, I'm worried about you. My uncle may be doing this situation, and I think you may be in danger, but it may not be a big deal." But she decided to use the voice to find out more information, and at least for him, he seemed to reveal that, "Oh no, my uncle plans to stick with the Molotov company. You should be fine," essentially. And Fiala and her, at least in Fiala's mind, they had a great time, essentially, as he left and went off. We're having a wonderful conversation with her. Fiala, back in her quarters, after having more assurances, did have some time to get back and have a nice visit as well. A strange person in black who seemed to basically ask some questions about what's going on, and she reported back to him and explained to her, like, yeah, these people, the Carbidus, Jesus, I just did it. Charybdis. Give me a second, I got there. Charybdis and the Benetalax, who seemed to be very much afraid of her and didn't want her in their service. And of course, their Reverend One and their Order would not be happy if they heard about what they're doing here, as there's a bit of a beef with these two factions, essentially. And he did warn her to definitely stay away from these nobles, House Alos, or else, essentially threaten her without having to say so when she understood that. And of course, his displeasure with the exotic smell in her room, as Fiala did have a nice time with Brick not too long ago. She, of course, took his word for it and conceded to his orders, essentially. As everyone else retired for the day, Daniel, of course, staying up, still having a bit shaken and still dealing with this whole situation, as Charybdis and the Benetalax, who did say they were going to compensate him for this, though he seems to be very disappointed in some of the things they've been doing. And Scott preparing to go to sleep as well, as he did send some letters out for Daniel, including a secret one to House Nix as well. Hopefully we'll see if that blooms into anything important. Well, things would have probably been a lovely night in there, if not for the fact a few hours later there were loud explosions as a construction site, as one of the buildings that they've been building for Molotov had to collapse. Essentially a step back for Daniel's big projects. I think that's where it ended up last time, I believe. Yes, Master Coach did say, "I got you, bro."
Yeah. So, as morning arrives, I think it was during the night, right? I don't
The,
remember.
expl- the
The ex-
explosion, yeah, was we were going to
Yeah.
bed, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
as morning
Yeah. Correct.
catches you, Daniel, in the middle of this crisis, people are like relief teams and emergency response teams are kind of all over the place. By the time the sun is close to noon, an actual report is on your desk. It appears one of the large mega building structures have just collapsed. Um, Several deaths, many more injured, and overall an insane amount of loss in Solari. This will put you back months, unfortunately. Not to
All right.
mention, it will cost a lot more to clean and then rebuild.
Yes. Yes.
Scott, I'll say that Scott is on site directing the men himself.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have directed Scott to do that, even if he didn't have the idea to do it himself, because let the heroic air be out there with the people. Meanwhile, immediately going to have a message sent to Zvinka. Just matching we need to have a meeting about what has happened.
Yes. She would reply as soon as the crisis is over. You can discuss. Probably take a couple of days, honestly.
Yep. Given this, I would also tell Dennis, we need to pull our men out of Nix's city. Given what has happened, until we know if this is an accident or if this is a deliberate attack, we need men we can trust in the city. More than we can trust just Brick's men. So pulling that asset out. Yeah. Probably going to Daniel is pretty much going to be going around also constantly. He will tell basically yeah, he is also going to tell Brick that I want his men at the tram stations. I want people to, before they leave, I want them checked. As far as I'm concerned, the city is in lockdown. Don't want anyone just slipping through. Nobody's going to be able to. Nobody's going to be slipping through the net. They try. I also want patrols. They try to leave on foot. I want them found. If anyone tries to leave on foot, that is.
Said and done. As Brix will start directing his people to enforce tighter controls, as well, the smugglers, the crew is back on its way. Should take about a day to get back here.
All right. Outstanding orders. When they arrive, they are placed under the command of Dennis and Scott. They are to do a deeper sweep. I want they started being investigated, but then I want them to run a parallel investigation as well. And probably the last person he bounces towards is going to be the Ben and Gesserit. Just send a com. The Ben and Gesserit is wanted in my office.
She will, of course, be there, dressed in her best. You summon me, my lord?
Yes, yes. Going to have a specific job for you. And just let me look at your character sheet again so I can see the stuff you're actually good at again.
Mhm.
Yeah. When my men get back here, the men I know I can trust, you will be assisting them directly. I'm going to be having them run a secondary investigation. They'll be going over everything that the primary sources have found. If a single detail does not add up, if there is a single thing that rubs you the wrong way, I want to hear about it. I want it in a report. If this was just an accident, I want the people responsible for this negligence. If this was an attack, I want heads on pikes.
Of course, my lord. As you command.
Dismissed.
She will nod and bow before leaving.
As this does actually hit the news, Daniel, it takes maybe like a day or so. Alexi sends a note if do you need any sort of relief aid, offering several of Vodnik's experts to help you out.
Do I know if this would have like adverse political ramifications if I was to forbid him if I accept this?
Doubtful. It's literally him just sending you. I don't know if you want his people over your site, but
Yeah. Tell them I'll send him a message that tell him a message. It's like a conciliatory message. We will accept the aid, but just that there's like a little caveat there, worded nicely, more nicer than I'm going to say it here. That we do have a plan established. That if these people can integrate themselves into the plan, we would appreciate their assistance. Just in the basically nice way of saying, my men are in charge of the relief. Yours are just helping them.
I'll just roll for Scott. See how that message is worded. Yeah, I guess it is in fact excellently worded.
Is that momentum?
Yeah, 2 momentum.
We're winning again, baby. We stumbled a bit, but we're back to winning.
Yeah. And his men, Scott will be able to make sure that his men, while they can help, they're kept away from any sort of important sort of like the area where they could tamper with evidence or might affect the investigation. So they're literally just their help is minimized, but at the same time the risk is also greatly reduced. So
They are here on a purely humanitarian basis. Like I mentioned, I'm just having them restricted just to helping the people.
yeah, not even allowing them into the actual construction area so they can clear rubble. But yeah, no. Several days later, as more or less the crisis itself has been handled, your men are in position and they're running an investigation, trying to figure out details. Yeah, you can roll me, since you are assisting Dennis, you can also roll me probably discipline.
Okay, discipline. And let's see what this would be.
So you are watching a lot of their interrogations as Dennis and his men are doing their job. Um,
Can I say this is a challenge?
yeah.
Okay. And this wouldn't be any of my focus of infiltration or espionage, right? Just want to make sure to ask.
No,
Gotcha.
it's more
Would it
of
be
an
alright?
interrogation.
Would it be? Oh, this is interrogation. I won't spend threat for that if that's all right then.
Yeah, I mean, we do that. We sell the momentum.
Yeah. I can use one of the momentums, right? That just
Yeah.
ups my dice pool. Okay.
You want Dennis to use one of the momentums as?
Yes, you can also use one of the momentum. Yeah.
Dice. Let's see. It's still 3 successes. So yeah, you definitely help. As at least none of the people that they interrogate lie.
Grunt. I have the hyper awareness talent,
I
which
know.
is like when I spend momentum, I can ask questions. Is that all right for me to use now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, ask 2 questions. So you're saying like you already said the men that we talked to have. What did you say before him? I was my
So
mic
the
was cut
people
short.
that he interrogates, that they've like construction workers, maintenance staff, architects, none of them seem to lie or hide information related to this specific incident. They all are all quite baffled, and it's clearly that to them this being an accident is just incredible, not impossible, but just very unlikely. But they are not. This is not some. They are not the ones responsible for the sabotage. That's sure. So this is not Malenkov employees being infiltrated or something.
Okay. Is there any chance with the equipment that we would not have noticed beforehand, like anything that's would have pointed to the fact that it was faulty equipment or something tampered with in any way? Or at least from what they've saying, because you said it was like a something burst, right?
Yeah. It does look like an error in the design plan, and then once the building was tall enough, it just kind of like gave way at the base and just collapsed. Um, and it's not the equipment that's at fault here. Whoever designed it that way.
Mm. And would this have been something that would have been noticed beforehand, or or it was because it was so far made at the base of the thing, it would not have been noticed until an accident happened, essentially?
It would be. This would have been like this would have been noticeable if someone would actually like. This was just a failure on the planner's part.
I gotcha.
It's just that you don't believe it was an intentional one.
From all purposes, that's what it looks like. Okay. That is gonna go in Fiala's report to Daniel when after this is all hopefully taken care of.
Ironically, this makes Daniel a little matter of the fact that, for all intents and purposes, this does just seem like it was a freak accident.
Yeah. 15 threat.
Mhm.
As
It'd be one thing if there's somebody whose fucking neck Daniel could wring, but like when it's just fate.
yeah. As several days later, you'll have a meeting with everyone, including Zivka, to discuss. As she'll kind of like walk in your office, Daniel, after everyone has assembled, takes a seat at your desk. Says, I do believe the more critical things have been handled. The situation is under control.
Yes. Would we have already sent a copy of the report that Van Jesuit had compiled to her?
You would have received the report from Fiala, yes. Whether you want to share this investigations with Malenkov, that's up to you.
Yeah, no. Honestly, Daniel's still the mind of there's no point in not giving it to them because it was compiled by their Bene Gesserit, so they're gonna get it regardless.
Yeah.
So yeah,
She probably got the report then. As she says, as your investigation and my own have proven the same result. It was just a faulty, well, a large mistake on our part. And for that, you have my deepest apologies.
you can see Daniel just raised a hand. What's done is done. What we need to discuss now, though, is the future. Understand that this is going to put the project behind on time, as well as will now represent a larger initial monetary investment in the Malenkov Corporation to rebuild what has happened.
She nods and says, I will have to discuss the budget with them, but
Yes. Do extend. I am willing to, in light of this incident, negotiate a curated payment for the first 2 quarters in order to make up for this unexpected misfortune.
she nods and says, I will relay that to the board. Thank you, my lord.
Yes. If there's anything else that House Elios can do to assist our friends in these times of troubles, merely forward a message to my office.
Yeah, she'll nod. As she'll kind of also hand you the report of her own personal investigation, which pretty much outlines most of what Dennis found as well. It just has more details on the actual forensics of the accident, which part of the building was badly designed, and just looks indeed like a freak fucking accident.
Grunt, based on everything we've gained, I know that's probably true, but when you say it like that,
And yeah, she'll kind of take her leave as. Oh, I'm not sure. What's your plan, Daniel? Because from the outside, you don't need to roll to know that Tosh is gonna take this as a golden opportunity for you to just because you could just be like, yeah, I'm annulling this contract on base of incompetence. What the fuck did you just do in my city?
Yeah, that's why I've recalled the men I know I can trust. Because the thing with these assets, they're meant for my operations. I know them.
Yes.
And I've also requested that the assassins from House Nix to be sent over covertly. Yeah, Daniel is straight up going to have. He's going to have a meeting, and pretty much everybody is except for Brick's invited to this because honestly, I don't. Brick probably will not even know the multitude of the threat that the Laxu could be. He'll be like, "Oh, what guys who can swap faces? Like actors?"
Damn. Yeah, no, that's pretty much what he would do. Like, oh, like the guys that died. Oh, yes, okay.
I have a feeling the Talaxu. I have a feeling they've weeded out their bad agents by now.
Yeah. You have a meeting with everyone involved. As everyone's kind of gathered, and Dennis just says, Daniel, what is the plan?
Huh?
Can't tiptoe now, can we?
No. They just forced our hand, and I think it's time for our relationship to end with Galaxy to reach its natural course. They were never forward. They were never forward with the promised payments, anyways. Which is why, as he'll look to Scott and Dennis, the men that we brought back from House Nix, as well as the agents from Nix that will be loaned to us, we will need to get them ready. There will be a response to this, and don't think I have to tell either of you what the Talaxu are capable of. They may have had failures on this planet, but I doubt that those failures will hold forever.
Oh, nod. As I think Scott did tell you that he already kind of contacted Nix to request
Yeah, he
assistance.
did. Yeah.
Then Dennis just says, should we keep up the charade then that the feud is still going? Shall we make this official?
If we move so openly against Talax, it will jeopardize our position with Charybdis. In doing so, it will jeopardize the relationship. It will further us from Hades. The shroud was useful, but the situation on the board has changed. We need protection more than we need subtlety.
Shall and then Scott just say, then I will send the letters, my lord.
Good. And he'll also, final thing directed towards Scott and Dennis. As well as that, I want us to get ready. We'll be dispatching a private letter to Cassio Orpheus, and I'm right, Grant. That is the Ravinum lady who married into Orpheus. Yes. Our relationship with Cryptus is likely going to be hitting rocky ground soon. So we may be more amenable to an accord with Orpheus and Ravinum.
Of course. As yeah, Scott will send that letter. Let's see. Does lightning strike twice?
Yeah, I'm willing to take threat.
I'll say this is power, so focus and how much threat do you want to buy?
I'll take 3 threat because honestly, I don't want this to fail. This is very important. Well, actually, hold on. Do we still have 1 momentum?
No, you didn't. Got
Okay,
5
good.
successes anyway.
I was about to say because if we still have 1 momentum, I'd swap out one of the threat for a momentum, but it doesn't matter. 5 successes, it's worth it.
Guess this is like you gain 2 momentum from it. Yeah, no.
And
Scott will like this is maybe one of his best letters yet. As yeah, you manage to he begins between him and here's the thing. officially aligning with Ruvinum is much more complicated from your position. Given that you don't really have any ties with them. But you will have a tie with Orpheus because Nyx is underneath them, so to speak. So by marrying into Nyx, and Cassia is willing to, with 5 successes, Scott manages to set up a deal with her in which you kind of like move from the sphere of influence from underneath House Charybdis, underneath House Orpheus. And you know who actually rules House Orpheus. It's definitely not Silex.
Yeah.
So
that's what I meant when I'm saying like seeking a accord with Orpheus and Ravenum, because functionally it's might as well be one and the same at the moment.
Well, yeah. Not exactly, but close enough.
Yeah.
But
appearances have to be kept up. And yeah, the final thing. This one's to Fiala. And you, and Jesuit. I want you to remain close.
Okay,
you would be here, yeah. You would be here. Because this is us. Regardless if I like you or not, I'm throwing in with the Melankovs, which means with you.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, I didn't want to assume. But yes, Fiona would.
Yeah.
She would have probably been watching and listening, but she straightens up once you call her name.
Bold of you to. I didn't call your name. I called your title. I'm still calling Ben Jesuit.
No problem. Like if you called her, I assume that's how it's always been. So she straightens up once you catch her attention.
I want you to remain close eye on Brick. He lacks the sophistication to truly know the threat we're in, but he is the head of the majority of our forces in the city. We cannot have him be compromised. To ensure that he remains loyal, and if there is any erratic change in his behavior or any suspicions, you are to report them to myself, to Dennis, and to Scott.
Of course, my lord. I'll keep him a close eye on Brick.
All right. For all of your orders, go get to work.
give me a second. Type some shit down.
I'm just saying. We stumbled a bit, but we're back to winning, baby.
It will probably be announced.
It's gonna be so fun with tickets back. Oh, by the way, Scott's married.
It's coming through, baby.
Yeah, damn. I wish
like,
we could have kept this out on a little bit.
Roughly like 2 weeks after the whole fiasco. That is the timeline where the Nyx betrothal is officially announced, and let's just say that the relief package never arrives, which I mean will send you a pretty clear message. As there's no like official, hey, you're now under us package. Okay, give me like 5 minutes.
Book lock.
They summoned you.
I can't believe it. We've actually returned to the good old days of Bucharest, the one where every 10 minutes a session be interrupted by its dog. Do you remember those days, Red? Where every session.
Don't remember those days. I don't think I had that problem.
Every Camarilla session.
I don't think I did
motherfuckers. Fucking both of them.
Both of them. Grunt, are you telling me it was only the Are you telling me, Grunt? Don't tell me it was only the Camarilla sessions that got interrupted by the dogs in Bucharest.
Mostly.
Because Red's saying she doesn't remember them.
I know he had the dog, but they never interrupted our sessions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because
What
it depends on like what the time is, and yeah, no, they were like both disappeared. I was like, oh no. I went into the living. I just kind of like glanced in the
Just
living
shitting
room.
into each other's mouths.
They're both just kind of like sitting on the couch, staring at me. I'm like,
What did you do?
yeah. I don't think they did anything. Yeah, they're
Not
still
yet,
acting
anyway.
shady. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it's just my paranoia. But yeah, so there's no official, hey, you're under us now. But well, let's just say that Charybdis has pulled out all of its envoys and has more or less cut ties with you. As soon as the betrothal gets kind of announced. So I guess it's more or less official.
It is what it is. Fate doesn't command anyone. We make do with what it brings.
Sure. As shortly after the official announcement, you get notification that Peter is visiting you again.
Oh, of course. Instruct them that they're to escort him to my office.
As he'll arrive with a less fanfare than last time, and will actually walk through the front door. Which is always a 50-50 chance with him. As
Goes first into my window.
he kind of eventually walks into your office, it's like just before noon. As the autumn season has already kind of set in, at least it's starting to set in, and kind of like take a seat. Says, Daniel, good to see you, and good to hear that everything has is working out.
Yes, it's a tragedy befell, but we bounced back from it well enough.
Sometimes accidents just happen. It's truly, we are all at the whims of fate, no matter how much we try.
End of the day, fate brings us the objects we hold, situations we find ourselves in, but fate does not propel a man to any action.
I did hear you made some interesting decisions. I mean, I should find Scott and just congratulate him on the marriage. I hope I will
Yes.
be invited to the wedding. No, I'm joking. I hate weddings.
It's likely to be a smaller affair. I have a feeling that myself and the head of House Nix are similar of opinions on extravagant social occasions. It will be to standards, of course, but don't think it will be much more.
Be sure to invite young Lord Vodnik. He seems to be your biggest fan at court, from what I hear.
Him and Scott are they're close. Personally, he is a business associate, but my boy has his friends.
Well, I'm here to deliver the news personally, as I might have some concerns, but you've proven a wise business partner in dealings with the Malenkov Corporation. I am happy to announce we are continuing the project despite the setback. Of course, the design team has been replaced. The other ones clearly needed a break. They were probably overworked. A nice little vacation would do them good for a couple of months, I think.
Oh, yes, it would.
Can't help but listen to gossip. I'm not the one. No, who am I lying? I always listen to gossip. What happened with you and how's Charybdis? Pulling all the envoys out at once?
Oh, I'll say fate directs man's no decision, but its currents do lead one in certain directions, and the relation between me and the Lord Charybdis, between my house and his, reached its natural endpoint. I won't speak ill of them. They had still done kind things to my house, for my house when we first established. They were our patrons.
I have to admit, they were a tiny bit weird.
All men have hobbies.
I hear some people like to sword fight. I personally like to cook. The Charybdis like to mix animal genes? I mean, far from me to judge too harshly, but some hobbies are a bit on the extreme end, don't you agree?
Dan will just kind of like wave a hand. The science is beyond me of how that functions. At the end of the day, when my relationship was with them, before I was a noble, I delivered some goods. I never was in the labs. Saw no reason for it.
In any case, I do think good times are ahead for us. And while the completion of the project, well, I heard some deadlines being pushed back a month or two. You know what, considering this, well, this relationship that I value so much and your clear, kind disposition towards us, I decided to allocate and increase the budget by 75% to make up for the lost time. Bring in more manpower. If that's alright with you, of course.
No issue with it. It will be good for Harakion if the opening of the entertainment district is not delayed too much.
Couldn't help but notice your man Brick, my best friend, shaking down. You can call it nicer words, but basically shaking down people at the transit. I was a bit confused because I thought this was a rather obvious accident. Why the increased paranoia?
Well, initially, it was not known if it was an accident. Why I raised that security. And well, I like to think that we did not have a bad break with Charybdis. Some people see things differently. In time, measures will relax themselves, but
True.
in cases like this,
Just that Charybdis is not known for its assassins. In fact, I think you are marrying one of the more dangerous families on the planet, which I guess it's a good thing for you. Makes me wonder, whom against are you being so paranoid? Certainly was not gonna be the warrior priests or the bureaucrats, the sword makers. No, no, you have a deal going with them. That can't be it. Must be missing something. Excuse my ramblings, my lord. Really don't wish to tell someone like me such information. It's just that I
Oh,
thought,
okay.
since you were so interested in increasing security, I can't just help but think that your staff may just be under-equipped. I know their zeal and dedication is more than makes up for it, but just in case you want an actual upgrade for security, I might be able to, look in the back closet of our R&D department and just provide you with some better scanners and tools for such a job.
See, Daniel's gonna lean in. Say you listen to gossip, Peter. Let me ask a question. Who do you think I am paranoid about?
Well, I assume some sort of assassins, freelancers, off-worlders. It doesn't have to be anyone can hire an assassin with enough money. They might be less connected and not have a proficiently enough spy network, but I mean, again, anyone can hire competent crew with enough money, correct?
That they can, and it has worked precisely 0 times before. Gonna basically what Daniel's trying to see is like how much does he know about the Palaxu? Because these are veiled references, but Peter has a wonderful habit of
Yes.
making references to things he shouldn't know.
Well, you can give me an understand or discipline or try and like. You could also communicate, try and like get it out of him. Conversation up to you.
I'll go with understand
Here comes the
and
counter roll.
go with power. Would the focused deductive reasoning apply here?
Yeah.
Right. You said we still have 2 momentum.
Two
Correct?
momentum, yes.
Right. Spend 1 momentum to get 3 die, and what drive should I use? Could go with duty, and would the determination of the statement apply my house is everything to me apply here?
I don't see why not.
All right. Let's roll 5 successes.
Damn. Okay. Um. I mean, so here's the thing, Peter. Who the fuck knows what he knows and what he doesn't? Um. Could know about the Telaxium, but then again, he could just be referring to just hiring actual like freelance assassins, which what you were hired initially when you came to this plant first.
Yeah.
You're not really
But
sure which thing he is implying.
it's the funny thing though, Grunt, is it could be freelance assassins, but who were we hired by to
That's a
be
fair
those
point.
freelance assassins?
That's a fair point.
Yeah,
You have no real clue. Nothing for certain at the very least.
nothing for certain, but yeah,
This is still Peter. Impossible to read.
Daniel's going to lean back. Um, no, Daniel, I think I would appreciate it. Just, I don't assume that this is just a favor. Name the price, and I will check my treasury. Just waiting for that +1 XP for everyone to show up. Grunt, fuck you.
Listen, I spent threat to buff up his dice pool.
Peter is the infinite XP generator. Damn it, I rolled 5 successes in that, but that bastard still got through. God damn it.
Yeah, because you rolled 2 crits and 2 successes. But yeah, he's just gonna be like, well, listen, money is an interesting thing. You see, I have had several conversations with accountants, with people who are very good with numbers. They understand the value of things. But I don't see value as a number. Most of my peers and collaborators, agents, even Zivka to a certain extent, although she has a charming personality, they put a sheet in front of them and you say, get these numbers to look as good as you can. Cut costs where you can cut costs, get more money where you can get more money, calculate risk for long-term investments. They will produce wonderful outcomes. You know what they won't produce? They won't produce friends. They won't produce connections. They won't produce, well, many benefits. And the reason why they keep me around, even though I tend to lose money, is that I gain a lot of the other benefits. When I'm offering this, don't mistake this as a sort of kind-hearted, good-natured gesture. Think of it just as a benefit you're offering me. Well, it's a benefit you're offering, the mutual beneficial arrangement. Don't believe this is some sort of donation, because it certainly isn't. Do you understand what I'm trying to get across here?
I understand it very well, Peter. It's how I like to view things. Everyone benefits, everyone gains. The world's a much more enjoyable place if you have, call them business relations.
I like to call them friends. And true. Without friends to share your success, nothing is worth it. It's just kind of like smile widely. So take this as a sign of friendship, and he'll kind of like extend his hand.
Daniel will shake his hand, and what Dale's actually going to say as he shakes his hand. The world I was in before, friends were hard to come by. The world I'm in now, friends are harder to come by. But I'm willing to see if this will work out.
There's exactly. Friendship, expensive. True friendship, it's priceless. You'll stand up. I will have Zivka send you the proper paperwork and ensure the menial aspects of this arrangement are done. and expect I'll be dropping by in the future to maybe check on certain things. If there's any sort of issues, do let me know. How is the Bene Gesserit, by the way? I hope everything is up to standard.
She has proven reliable and effective. You'll understand if I say I still don't trust her. That's more just because of what she is and not
It,
what she's like. She's quite friendly as a person.
very charming, but indeed, you would be a fool to trust her. Um, but I'll say this: compared to other alternatives, at least she is pretty.
You can see Daniel will just sit back and oh, Brick seems to agree with you.
Have no doubt about that. As long as she doesn't mess with any of your important members, I assure you, Brick's uses will not be hampered by my contractor.
That's good to hear. Brick does have his uses, and it would be a shame something happened to impact his job.
Don't even dream about it. And I believe, I think I made sure she understands that there are certain boundaries you mustn't cross, even in this job. So do not trust her, but at the very least, trust that I have staked my reputation and my word on the fact that she will behave and not impact you negatively in any sort of manner.
Take it in good fortune. So far, she's not disappointed. It's better than I can say for other assets.
What are you referring to now? He's just gonna like cock his head curiously. Like, sorry to hear that.
Oh, nothing. In my time, I've had deals with a great many people, a great many interesting people, and well, sometimes people talk their skills up, and then they just don't make the cut.
I see. Well, it is a sad day, but every bad investment is a good lesson, I say.
They are. Mistakes don't become problems unless they're repeated, and I never repeat my mistakes.
Glad to hear that. Have a wonderful day, my lord. And he'll kind of like politely bow and he'll take his leave.
Wonderful day, Peter. With every failed roll, I'm getting a better picture of him. It's still happening.
Um, Listen, suspicions are warranted. It's just that mechanically the confirmation will be hard to get.
That's the thing, like, mechanical confirmation is hard to get. But even then, it's like, he's just referencing freelance. He might be referencing the Talaxu, or you could just be people hiring freelance assassins. Yeah, Grunt, we were hired by freelance assassins. By the Talaxu.
Yes. um,
God, I hate him so much, and I hate that Daniel actually likes him. It would be so much easier if Daniel also hated the guy and didn't want to talk to him.
Damn. Can't believe everyone hates this character.
It's just when Hate says that you were putting Oscar on like being a little guy, like saying I know things. The problem is I don't trust Hate when he says that. I just that's his interpretation, but goddamn it, it's actually what's Peter doing though. That's actually what he's doing. He might as well be like rubbing his hands together and saying, "I've got a secret, but I won't tell you."
I know. So, yeah.
Fiala, as you're kind of like in your quarters, there's a gentle knock at the door.
Oh, she gets all fun when it is this way. Putting down her lovely knitting scarf that she's working on, she goes to the door.
Yeah, and you open the door. It's Peter.
Hello. I assume this entire time Fiala has been calling him Lord or Sir Peter or something like that.
Up to
I don't
you
think
how you
he-
would
we
call
had-
him.
Yeah. Oh, Sir Peter. Hello. May I be of service for you? She like
May I come in?
back letting him in basically.
Step in and say, before I left, I want to check in with you, see if everything is all right. Everything is, if you need for anything. Sometimes Zivka can be a bit more, brutal and honest, and forgets that people such as yourself require a more gentle touch.
A gentle touch. Fiala kind of smiles at that. Well, I do appreciate the concern, sir, but as of right now, I've been well accommodated by Zivka and the rest. Thank you for your care, of course. I hope I'm working to your standards.
He shrugs as well. It's not my standards you have to satisfy, but I do hear good things about you.
Mm-hmm. That is good. Pray tell, may I ask who is saying such good things about me?
I wouldn't dare to rat them out, lest things get to your head. As he smiles.
That is true. But yes, everything is well here. Outside of
I believe I remember Brick saying something nice about you, but I think he says good things about most of the women around here.
he does have a certain taste, I say. But don't worry, I've been on my best behavior. I promise.
Good to hear. I believe your workload may increase in the near future. Do be prepared for that.
Of course.
As
That's what I'm here for.
well, I always give this advice to everyone in life. Trust your instincts. As he just kind of points to his nose. Have a lovely day then, Miss Fiala.
Of course, sir. You have a lovely day as well.
Yeah, I'll just take his leave. There's nothing else you want to ask him?
There's nothing else that Fiala could think that she could ask Peter as of right now. Says
You have one chance to use the voice on him to interrogate him. That's all I'm saying.
oh no, she wouldn't do that on her employer because if she fucks up, oof, she could not come back for that.
That's true, but no balls, I guess.
you can't do
You-
this. to me.
Okay, no. I'm gonna step in here as House Ruler and say that we know balls last session. We don't need to do it again. You had the chance. You had the chance. You could have gotten this 18 threat last time. You had the chance. Because what's the difference between 15 and 18?
That's all I'm saying.
Look, Fiala actually does like Brick as well. This personality fits very much something that she approves of. So, and she was just told by a mysterious, scary man, "Don't fuck this up." So,
Yeah, but that's only he only told that about family members.
I feel like it's a bad look to use the voice on people who have hired your contract. Is it
Yes,
just me?
if they know about it.
If they know about it.
But no,
No,
listen, I'm
but-
not gonna force you.
could just listen. You could. It's only I listen. I don't think you should do it. But I will mention it's only really super overt if you like spend like multiple threat points. Like one threat isn't like that overt.
Mhm.
It's not even overt with like three threat. It's just it's overt if you make it overt.
That's also true.
But yeah, if you're
As
not, you're gonna resist the curiosity.
yes, Grant, I'm going to be a good little Bene Gesserit and resist the curiosity for now.
The worst Ben and Gesserit,
Let me just post
Oh,
this
which
one
is a
more
good
time
thing.
in the chat. And
I have no idea what I like. I'm swinging for both sides here. I don't think you should do it, but I can't resist the urge to tell you have no balls.
that's fine. It is what it is. And yeah, he'll just
Mac, I hate to tell you that there are a few people who are like that actually.
anyone can
Uh,
technically resist the voice if they're like
well,
strong enough.
any
That's
people
true.
can do it, but like there's a lot of failed candidates for God, King, Messiah of the universe.
But yeah, yeah. Peter is just portrait. It's fact. It just takes off the mask. It's like hides me, beat me all the time.
You guys didn't know, lol.
But yeah, no, he'll take his leave, and
Well, they're paying for this whole bank. I think they pay for my wardrobe too. It's fine. Can't fuck that up.
well, I mean, they pay your order, and your order sends you places, but
They pay your
presumably,
order, and your order occasionally also like gives you money sometimes.
I'll say this: like, just you know for a fact that your order doesn't do random stuff, and if people can secure your services, that's an impressive feat on its own. Especially to like waste them on this fucking no-name house. Like what?
Ooh, that is
You
actually a
don't
good
have to
question.
be mean, Grunt.
I'm just saying. Like Bene
That's
I
right.
Gesserit
think we're
don't.
quite I think we're quite competent, actually.
You are, but you have no reputation and no history.
That is actually a good point, Grunt.
This is
Before he
like
leaves the bank,
taking all your life savings and just
She's
putting
pulling
them
it
in.
back. Don't get him out of there. She's trying to pull it back.
Okay.
I just had a quick question if he would
Hmm.
even answer.
Yeah.
Um, I, I forgive me, sir. Before you leave, do have a quick inquiry.
Please
A
call me
curiosity.
Peter. What can I do for you?
Very well, Peter. I'm a little. I can't help but ask. Has my order given you any information to as of why they would say yes to such a contract? It's not a common occurrence. I do enjoy Lord Daniel's house, of course, but it's not a very often situation for someone of my nature.
Fair question. Honest, who in this entire universe can think what your revered mothers believed? I just made a simple request and they obliged. I was honestly shocked as well. I didn't think it would work. You know, sometimes you just throw a random dart into the darkness and just hope you hit your target. 90% of the time it will fail, but sometimes it succeeds. It's just the nature of causality, I guess.
Uh, Grunt, I would like to inside roll that one if it's alright.
Totally. You have one momentum.
That's true. I would choose.
You could also spend one threat as well because hey we just used a bunch of threat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I
I
also
guess
hate him like that. That lie's not even believable. Fuck off.
It's not.
I will use one threat to make my dice pool bigger. That's right.
And the
use
momentum?
truth engine. Yes, so I'll make it full.
You need both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so then
Okay.
yeah, it's 4.
And then I have understand and I have truth. And I have my convention. Nobody speaks the truth when there's something to gain, basically. Ooh,
Damn.
I don't think that's it. God damn it! Can I spin a threat to get rid of the complication?
It's 2 threat to get rid of a complication. You can do it. It's up to you.
Yeah.
I
That would put it
will.
at getting 3 threat. It's not that bad.
Okay, I will use it then, because I was like, it will be worth it, because I don't want to have another exploding building on our hands.
No, I think like we still don't have that much threat because he did spend the threat because we got the XP from it.
Okie dokie. I will use a threat to
Okay,
clean
so
up that complication
2
then.
threat for removing the complication. Um, honestly, the man just might be clueless.
Mm.
He probably doesn't know why the fuck they sent you here.
Yeah, she has an idea based on that conversation from the mysterious man she spoke with last night, but she doesn't know if Peter knows or anything like that.
He does just seem like a buffoon to you, which is what you're
Mm,
reading off of him and what your instincts are telling you are conflicting. You
I will
are
say,
kind of like again. Maybe
I
now
will,
you understand the frustration of people not being able to read this man. He
I
just
will say
behaves like
this
a yeah.
based on her watching Scott and Daniel, not sorry, Scott and Peter interact. Fiona doesn't necessarily think he's a buffoon. She thinks he's very ambitious. And that means he must be a shark. Because if he can survive this long and not be killed, that means there's something more that she can't see. Especially since he said all the right words, at least in her mind. So she would if he this is very well then. Thank you for answering my question, Peter. I appreciate it.
The least I can. I didn't really. Uh, listen, you may just be giving me more credit than you should, but then again, I feel like most people do that, so don't take it personally.
It's all
It's
right.
I just look that smart, you know.
It's all right, Peter. My mother would tell me, my Reverend Mother would tell me if I need to be told, is that it should be. Nothing else. Just didn't know if had any spoilers. That's all.
Well, you know what they say. Um, I guess they will. They will. That's just true. But well, I'm glad this was a fruitful interaction for at least one of us. So kind of give you a double thumbs up.
He's just
Cool.
a guy. I hate him so much.
Look, Fiala knows there's something going on with this guy. No one can speak like that and
God
not
damn it,
be.
you got more XP.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you did
saw.
get more XP. I spent like 3 threats. Well, up to dice pool. Um, they
Well,
have done a wonderful day, night. Have a wonderful time all the time. Just well, maybe not too much fun.
I'll try to contain myself, Peter. But life's too much fun to live to say none of that. But I will try. Thank
I
you again.
I understand you. I truly do.
I think you actually do.
Do I? And he just kind of like chuckles and closes the door behind him.
Fun interaction.
This man is
Oh, look,
just fucking weird, yeah.
look. That man's a shark. Don't even lie to me. Something's going on with that guy. Fiala's is like, I just know it.
Yeah,
He knows what type of game.
it's a shark that's so
yeah.
as it like approaches you underwater, suddenly fucking pulls out a banjo and starts playing like
It's a shark that comes pre like spun.
like okay. How do you even take this interaction?
Fiala
And I'm
wise?
saying it. The lie he's saying is the fact that this is just the truth. He lies to you by just saying the fucking truth. He's straightforward. He is just a happy guy who is also doing something, but he's just a happy guy.
Uh, yeah, so thank God it was gonna. It would have been fun if you would voice on him. I guess I'll post this one last time in chat no balls.
Rod, you can't do this to me, please.
At least you tried to interrogate him in a more like it's like half a ball. Um,
What?
it would have been funny if you had the complication, but yeah. Um, this is what it is. And yeah, a day later, you would receive an official report from Zivka relating to some of that sensors and equipment that he donated, quote unquote, for your guards, equipping bricks people. Um,
I'll have Dennis check over them. Like, have Dennis and my men check over them before we hand them out. But yeah, it's good.
say, let me actually roll because I want to see. You're having Dennis. I'll roll for Dennis. Do you want to buy threat for Dennis?
You can buy one threat.
Okay. Damn. That's one momentum.
Yes.
Dennis
Winning.
actually will sometime later after you receive the equipment requests a meeting with you alone in your office.
Yeah.
As
Daniel will grab it.
yes, he like walks and says, "Well, Daniel, I have some news that might interest you."
You always do, Dennis.
The sensors, the equipment we received. Well, some of it is what I seen and used in spaceport security, and it's definitely gonna help. I couldn't help but notice some rather peculiar top of the line chemical analyzers. Uh, did you request them by chance? Or were they just freely given?
You know how Peter is. He said that to consider them a gift of friendship, which I didn't believe that at all, but I wasn't going to turn it down.
Are you sure you don't want to turn this down? As like places one of these devices on the table. It looks quite sophisticated.
Yeah. Daniel will take a look at it himself, look it over, as well as trying to get a grasp of what exactly is this.
But well, you can see the numbers and it kind of like gives you like a chart of readings, different like chemical compositions and substances based on what you can like. There's like an input area. Says now, couldn't help but ask around. These are wouldn't call them exactly illegal, but we're playing with fire here, Daniel. These have all the markings of Ixian devices. And I don't mean the fun kind.
You see, there's a sigh from Daniel. It's like, tell me, these are advanced. These are advanced. What exactly would the Ixians want to use something like this for?
Shrugs. The outside, it just looks like a chemical analyzer to me. I could have someone crack it open, but this is indeed of Ixian design. I don't think we have anyone here qualified enough to, well, reverse engineer it. And I do believe we just cut ties with one of the more knowledgeable houses.
You know, when you said this is a chemical scanner, do you mean it would like What would we use to scan? What would this be used to scan, real quick, out of character?
You could put all sorts of substances, you think? Blood, sweat, water, food, whatever.
Daniel's going to go and get that bit of DNA that he kept from the false brick, and he's going to run it through it.
Yeah, that's gonna give you readings. There's just a bunch of different substances that will kind of output.
And imagine getting a DNA sample from Brick would not be too difficult because Brick probably leaves fucking bottles everywhere.
Nope.
Yeah. Gonna then also run the DNA from Brick through it as well. Does it come up the same?
Give me a second.
I like it when Grunt says, "Give me a second."
I need this is I don't wanna I wanna check something. This is chemistry, and chemistry is not my strong suit.
Grunt actually cracking open a pirated PhD level fucking chemistry textbook.
Well, most of the things come out all right, with the exception of a couple of substances which I won't be able to actually name. But it is related to, and you a normal human wouldn't be able to perceive. These are such small differences, but the scanner does pick up on them. Something related to the smell, like the two samples smell slightly different. It's very, very slight difference.
And the Ben and Gesserit did point out there was a strange kind of smell with a bit of a strange smell with the false brick's body. Daniel's gonna look at Dennis. You see that? And there's a difference. First one I put in food was the sample I kept of the dead face dancer. Second one was from the actual brick. Slight differences. That's you get Daniel's actually gonna put it down. He knows that this closes it. He knows. That man plays the fool.
If there's anything that can find such minutia, it would be the Bene Gesserit and the Ixians.
Yes, of course. Right as I make the decision to cut ties with Talax and throw him with his lot, he just happens to, as a gift of friendship, give me the means to be able to detect even an infiltrator like a face dancer. That Peter plays the fool. Smarter than he looks. We won't be getting rid of these, Dennis, but I don't want these being flashed out and about. It's better if our enemies don't know we have them.
He chuckles. Says, if our enemies figure out we have these, I think we will all be dead before the end of the year.
Exactly. But what I want, we keep these under lock and key. The people that have permission to enter, the servants and Brick's men that have the permission to enter into our abode, house. We'll have a feast prepared. Something of that sort. Covertly collect DNA samples. We have suspicions on them afterwards. We can test another DNA sample against the ones we have.
Yeah, he nods. Take the device away. Playing with dangerous people here, Daniel.
We are, Dennis. We're on the back of a beast, large and thrashing. We try to get off now, we'll be crushed underneath it. Best hope, we hold on to it. Ride it to the end. Maybe we'll come out winners. Maybe we won't. We have a better chance of picking ourselves up at the end of it than trying to abort now.
He nods. You are right. Very well, I shall prepare the arrangements.
As he leaves, yeah, Daniel is going to send a note thanking Peter, just thanking Peter for the big new equipment. Something else to it, just that. As Daniel has a new appreciation for Peter. This pretty much does solidify that Peter knows, and Peter is a lot more sly than he makes himself out to be.
Do you just specify like, hey, thank you for the equipment?
It's thank you for, because the idea is like he arranged us to get these from Malakoff Corporation. I'm not like saying like, hey, thank me for this anti-face dancer stuff. Just we've received the equipment. It's being put to use.
Yeah. This may be one of those times where I just induce artificial threat, but it is just what it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
The reply would be kind of like maybe a day later or so. I haven't even gotten to it, but we'll do in the future. Apparently, some mix-up has happened. These weren't the supplies he sent. That's what he claims.
Interesting.
Apparently, some sort of. I mean, he's like, the letter would be like something along the lines of, I didn't send anything. It takes a bit more than like a couple of days to send the equipment. I barely got the approval process ready. Bureaucracy, am I right?
Daniel will just send a letter apologizing. But Daniel will explain that well, they've already been being put to use. Basically, just explaining that the men have started getting used to them. There would be training issues if they were suddenly replaced with another model. Basically, just saying that. Oh, I mean, confusion, but hey, I mean, we already got the stuff. We could just say that this is what we were supposed to get, file the paperwork.
As you wish, he will comply. I'll just adjust everything just in the books.
I don't believe that for a second. That this was a mix-up. That it's him writing something so he has it on paper.
Well, apparently he claims he didn't send these, so.
Yeah, he claims a lot of things.
That is like, I'm not having this bullshit anymore. Fuck you.
I am no longer rolling understand, Grunt. I'm just calling you a liar.
That's fine. That's perfectly reasonable.
You have you say you say it bothers you and Mac does this, but you are now engendering this behavior in me. What are you doing?
Um. Yeah, no, it's fine. Um. Well, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, I guess.
No, it's fine.
Mac is just, in fact, the mad prophet.
Mhm.
Nobody listens to him
Yes.
raving about the
Like I said,
apocalypse.
Mac, just between me and you is I ain't a bitch.
But yeah, so well, not sure if there's anything else you want to do.
I mean, I would very much like to actually do the groundwork for the operations in the spaceport. See to those.
Remind me what those were.
Pretty much, we dispatched a unit of our smuggler assets to the spaceport. The idea is that they are supposed to establish themselves there in the criminal network. Basically, they're not to make like super aggressive moves at first. It's more like just they are making contacts and they are trying to ingratiate themselves in the pre-existing criminal underworld of the spaceport.
Second to write down some stuff.
They're dead. Yep, all of them gone.
Yeah, no, they're pretty much at this point established. The network is up. Not a very extensive one, but it exists and it can allow you to move stuff or be aware of things. How long has it been since it? It's been like a month or two, right? It's been some time.
It's been a while. We've not had. Yeah, it's been like because we sent them like right after we left the Knicks house after the second meeting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while. We just had not a lot's happened, so we haven't had a lot of time to actually
Yeah, so
oversee them.
it's been like 2 months. So yeah, they're like technically operational. And is your plan to just try and like completely take over the spaceport criminal, like
So
smuggling operations, like try and like get a monopoly on that, because that's gonna take a while.
yeah. The plan is to do that, but like in the way that Daniel done it previously in his other criminal operations. In that, basically, he prefers to come in with like the extended hand, like we cooperate with people, we work with people, and the idea is that to slowly ingratiate themselves to seeing things our way, only using force if we really have to.
Yeah, why don't you give me a role for that? Be either communicate or understand, or even discipline for like leadership, whichever you prefer.
I'll go with discipline. I'll just go with power.
So this is a 3 difficulty thing, and you have 1 momentum.
All right, buy 3 momentum. Oh well, I mean, I'll buy 3 dice with 1 momentum. Actually, what am I doing? Actually, I'm gonna swap it. I'm gonna go communicate because there's something I can do with communicate. I'm like, what am I? I'm being the fool. Negotiation seat. Grant, how much debt do we currently have?
You have 5 threat currently.
5 bet. No, I won't buy another one. I'll just stick with the momentum.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't re-roll anything because I didn't buy threat. So no, fuck it. There's a complication.
I'll give you the XP because you technically fail a 3 difficulty shit.
Okay.
So let me think about it.
Yeah.
You
You are gonna regret this.
Hmm?
They'll learn. You prefer Daniel when he's playing nice.
um, not that, Daniel. It's the fact that you get a letter, and it's maybe from your least favorite person around, from Lord Hades himself, inviting you to a nice dinner in New York.
In Yorith, that's
Sort of a neutral territory, right? He's not calling you
it's your
because
territory. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Daniel will just on the respond cordially. Of course, he'd love to have a meeting. Daniel can fit two and two together. Having this extend after the orders, they're connected.
yeah, like the you send out the messages and there's some issues at the spaceport, then this comes through.
That's all right. Yeah. Well, I suppose. Well, suppose unfortunately Scott's a bit. Well, Scott will come, but unfortunately he's got a lot on his mind, so we won't be doing a lot of talking. But the witch will be accompanying me as well.
Tito.
Yeah. You each bring like a large Pokemon and just throw them at each other. Uh, but yeah, so you take this trip to Yorith to meet up and discuss whatever. It's a sort of a social visit, of course. Nothing too important to discuss. As the meeting is planned at a local, call them, what's a polite name for a whorehouse? Jesus.
Oh,
Insert name here.
Yeah.
A brothel.
A brothel. There we go.
brothel,
Thank
yeah,
you. That was
yeah.
the word I'm looking for. It's the meeting is set at the brothel, one of the nicer ones in Yorith. As take the transit train there, and you arrive this wonderful city. The nightlife here is, as always, active. People laughing in the streets, performing actors at every corner. The lights show from the green algae is always impressive. And as you wander through this, kind of like the city's more, let's say, fun district, Sirenium, this place that's just dedicated to all sorts of vices. If you want it, you can find it here. And as you eventually arrive at the establishment, you go inside, and the atmosphere here is a very pleasant one. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. Rich people, wealthy bureaucrats, nobles, all sorts of individuals. And you take the stairs as one of the staff members will guide you to a very private booth. As you do see, Hades is alone at the table. He nods as you sees the three of you and says, "Oh, Lord Elias, been some time since we've spoken to each other."
Yes, Lord Hades. A pleasure.
What lovely company you brought, as he smiles towards you, Fiala.
He smiles as well, looking very bashful.
Please have a seat. The drinks here are magnificent. I always wondered why brothels seem to have much better wine than some of the best bars in the city.
Masks the quality of the women.
He actually like laughs at that. Now, I know you are a busy man, so I won't pretend too long. Couldn't help but overhear some interesting rumors about a new operation crew making its way and making bold moves around our planetary spaceport. Well, I remembered it is one of your areas of expertise, wasn't it?
Indeed, they are. And indeed, those are my men.
I would have offered a hand in partnership, but you do seem to make a lot of those recently. Partnerships, I mean. Malenkov, Nix, Avodnik? I'm a bit confused on that one.
Oh. Daniel kind of just waves a hand. Business relations, most of them, and Vodnik was a means to an end.
The boy sure has spirit and can't really keep his alcohol. But you see, this brings me to a rather difficult arrangement. How should we solve this issue? You have men, I have men, you have interests, I have interests. It would be, well, quite bothersome to have to operate in hostile environments.
It would be. Let's see. Daniel will lean in and he'll say, as far as I see it, and question, I know Lord Hades. Lord Hades thing is mostly in information gathering. Does he have a lot of connections with other smugglers?
You wouldn't even fucking know, honestly. Presumably,
Damn.
he
Presumably.
should have, if especially if he works in the port. Like,
Yeah. All right. I just didn't know if that was connected to his information gathering, or if he said further than that.
it's probably not his area of expertise, but he probably has some contacts as well.
Well, see, Lord Hades. Oh, I view myself as having two roles. The head of the house, yes, but the house exists, in my opinion, to further the interests of my operation. And as the head of this operation, I don't like personal animosity or previous or anything of that sort to get in the way. Business is my only interest. And I would prefer us to be able to hash out an arrangement. While we have interests, and some of those interests may overlap, I think we can begin by outlining our, let's call it, more exclusive areas. Get those started first and work our way in.
Respected you. Yeah, well, prove to your skill. And I did hear you, well, how the gossip mills go. Might have had a falling out with House Charybdis? That true?
They took Gallmere. They took my boy's marriage to a girl of House Nix quite poorly. And well,
I hear about that. Congratulations, I suppose I should have in order. As Scott will just politely thank him. As Dorian continues and says, kind of glancing towards Fiad and looks back at you, Daniel, and says, I think now that finally, and I do say this with the best intentions, you stopped working with those sort of individuals, I do believe may be able to help each other. I'll let your men do their thing at the spaceport, of course. Right now, there's room enough for both of us, and I think you have the better smuggling contacts and routes, but I do believe I have more leverage, both the Spacing Guild and certain, well, border controls to ensure that nobody looks at the right crates. Of course, you can ship more goods. We can both benefit from that arrangement if it's suitable to you.
I think it would be much better to utilize shared strengths than try to carry the burdens on one's shoulders alone.
I would request then a favor. I believe you may be able to help me out. And, well, if you do, at the very least, you'll be helping yourself out as well, in the sense of, you know, what they say about the chain and the weak link. I would hate to be the weak link in your chain, my lord.
I doubt that very much, Hades. You are. No. I've dealt with many people in my times, and competence is a lacking quality in most. But you've come quite far. I don't think it lacks in you.
I do have my limitations. I like to be able to learn about my enemies, identify them, see them. And when my enemies can look like anyone, they can get into everywhere and have a dagger to my throat, makes everything just that more complicated. And seeing as you're not dead, even after what you just did, well, then you may be the person who could help me as well.
See, Daniel's. Daniel will kind of rest a hand on the table. In my travels, the universe has shown me many of interesting tricks, interesting people. There are some that every situation, no matter how strange, has a solution, and well, sometimes those solutions are strange. But I use them.
And I would like to rely on the old words of wiser people, as what they say. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I do believe we share a common foe. In our face changing, well, in your case, ex employer. In my case, hopefully, ex employer. I never knew
yeah.
that they could be so persistent and stick to you so closely.
Yes. They are annoying. Especially when they insist on not rendering the proper payments. It's bad form, even for a group like them. At this point, I'm gonna try to get like a read on this. If this is like an attempt for a setup, or if he's like actually asking for this assistance genuinely.
Sure. Give me a roll.
Grunt would be all right for me to roll as well, or only one of us?
I don't think you will need to roll, but yeah, you can also do it if you want.
Okay.
Your hyper awareness.
We understand, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Stand. Let's go with duty. Would deductive reasoning work here?
Yep.
All right. Let's go for it. 4 successes.
It's 2 momentum.
I want to. Oh, I shouldn't do it then. I think I'm good then.
You can spend 1 momentum and just obtain information just for free.
Okay, I should do that. That's all right. Ooh, Jesus
No,
Christ!
like
totally fine.
you
Yeah.
don't need to roll for that. You just
Oh.
spend. You can just
Gotcha. Okay, then
spend
I'll
momentum
do that.
and like. Let me.
You absolutely spend that momentum to get information out of
Yeah.
him. This is a very risky scenario. I'd love to get this man on my side if he's not trying to fuck me over.
Yeah, I'll do that because, like I said, that's how. Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, so you basically get like 2 questions per momentum point. So
Then,
yeah.
yeah.
Shit, you can take both of them if you want.
I'll say this, Daniel, you can tell that he is definitely scared of the Telaxu. And he,
Definitely.
unlike you, he doesn't have a Bene Gesserit and some Ixian's fucking scanners.
All right, all right.
And I get some
That's good.
questions.
That's good.
Yeah, Fiala, you can spend some momentum and just flat out ask me some questions.
Ooh, what question should I ask? It's a real
I'm surprised. Wait, you have an ability like this, and Max not playing a Ben Gesserit?
It's in your heart.
That's Max class.
Just
No, because
hold
he
front
has
down
to
and
he has to talk, so it has to be done.
just
The
just
negative
point
is
blank hold front down, and he has to answer your question.
no.
Damn.
I have to answer your question, not him.
That's what I mean. Like, sorry, I misspoke. But like he gets to hold you down and make you answer the
That's
question.
true.
How is this not Max class? Mac, what are you doing? This is made for you.
Mac is afraid of the negative risk.
Is it alright for me to ask Zaz if he has a question? For Grunt,
Yeah,
is that alright for me to
that's
ask?
fine.
Oh, Zaz, do you think
Yeah.
I should ask Grunt?
So my first thing to be asked is, so I have 2 questions, but I'll give them to you. And you can choose whether or not you want to ask them. These are the questions I would think of.
Just want to make sure I can spend 2 of the momentum, or just only
You can
one.
spend 1 momentum and get like 2 questions.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you can spend both momentum.
That's it. I will spend both momentum, and I will ask Zaz
Yeah.
what those questions are.
So the first question I'm thinking of, and again, you don't have to ask this question. I'm just pitching you my ideas here.
Mhm.
The first question is, guess the first question is he still, because he mentioned that they were a persistent, all the Talaxu trying to like get him to do another operation like the Orpheus hit or something of a similar caliber? And he is that why he's also nervous, because like they're still pressing forward despite the fact that things aren't going their way, and he's the next fall guy? And I guess the second question is, does he have suspicions that people have been compromised in his house without his knowledge. That at this point, they've replaced people in his court with face dancers, and he doesn't know it. Does he have suspicions of that?
Oh, that's actually one of the questions I want to ask. That works out. Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. Does he believe that his house has been compromised? Does he have a
Feel
feeling that
free to
there are
roleplay that out.
um I think Fiala would like speak up, assuming if Daniel will allow her. My lord, is there worry that you may also have some unknown assailants in your home that you worry about as well?
Ashamed to say yes. I doubt that they would just let me go without insurance.
That's a worry. It's actually kind of like par for the course because I think Daniel wasn't aware that there was another face dancer in our house too as well. Um, that is very alarming. So, and I assume this persistent stick that they have on you as well is that they wish for more of your employment.
Well, I believe it will soon turn from employment to slavery. At first, they pay you, then they get you entangled with them, and then they threaten you to keep obeying them. And at what point you don't have that much recourse, even if you try and make a move, because, well, whom do you trust?
I'm gonna ask another question from him. I think he kind of already answered, but I want to make sure to ask specifically so I know. Um, has there been a situation that has proven some alarming recourse for you? Outside of suspicion, of course.
I don't know, but I cannot help but be a bit paranoid. Which is, and he like looks around. Why I'm alone right now.
Hmm. Oh, oof, damn, this guy's in deep actually. Let's see, what was the last question I wanted to ask? Yeah, I guess this is really, I'm not sure if he can really answer this. But in your situation that you are right now, my lord, do you fear that Charybdis may take a much more drastic action if you decide to exit out of their service?
Charybdis is,
It's good.
I am not a fool, and nor is your lord here. Charybdis is uh, merely a storefront for these people.
Mm.
I doubt Charybdis can do much, but these agents, they are terrifying and what they can achieve, and I do know one thing about Charybdis is I do not really want to know what they're cooking in those labs of theirs. So yes, I do believe that if I also cut ties, well, you may still see me around, but I don't think I will be around. You understand what I mean?
Uh, Fiala would nod at
Uh,
Daniel.
Out of character, I that did remind me. This was created out of a complication. This is going well so far. Is this even the real? Is this even the real Hades we're talking to, or could they have already replaced them?
Well, Fiala, there is no weird smell, so
Mm.
they
They
definitely.
said
Yeah.
Fiala would turn to Daniel with a slight nod, essentially. Hopefully that gives him enough signal.
All right. Well, I will say this, Lord Hades. I do have the means to help you, and in the end, our mutual, let's call them associates, I think they've served their purposes, and it's time for them. Well, if they were smart, they would just move on to other investments, but they do seem like the stubborn group. And Daniel will extend a hand.
Yeah, and he will.
We can first we'll work on our associates, and when you are in a more secure position, we can negotiate a good, beneficial deal for our other operations.
I'll shake your hand. Well, then I expect to have a visit to my city soon. I will have all the members I wish for you to inspect present.
Yes, I think it will go quite well. I will say this: if you have any samples of the DNA of people you think are suspect prior to, let's just say, a decent time ago, I'm not sure how diligently you would have these, but they would be of a great assistance.
Can be arranged.
Good. Hopefully, Lord Hades, this is the start of a good relation. I think, well, you're a man that I can work with on my level. Don't have to pretend to be what I'm not.
I'll nod. That I shall reach out to you soon. And he'll say his goodbyes and take his leave.
I really hope this works out, but the fact that this meeting was getting to a complication, it makes me so nervous. Because a complication, like that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, but like in my mind, it's like the big red text. It's like, oh no, this is good.
Well, at the same time, it was a complication on the fact that you were trying to overtake the spaceport.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I'm trying to like measure in my head that ultimately for Daniel, this if this is actually truthful, which so far he seems not to believe because of his success and his Ben and Gesserit, that this is ultimately a much better result for him than what he would have gotten if he had succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just again, big red letters. There was a complication, all
It's
capital.
up to you to turn a defeat into a victory.
Yeah, that's what I do, Grunt. That's what I do.
You could have been like petty and be like, "No, fuck you, die." You try to swindle me, or you could be like, "Listen, sometimes we try and backstab each other. Sometimes we try and work together."
Please, please, please listen. Listen. I was mad at the time, but listen. If he is genuine about wanting to get rid of the face dancers, getting rid of the Talaxu, listen. Lady Nyx is just gonna have to fucking deal with it, I guess.
Yes.
I'm sure Damocles can keep her in order.
Well, I guess then you would just return back to your Heraklion for the moment.
Yep.
As soon as you just kind of like arrive, there's
The space
also
fed.
there's a message from Dennis. One of those sensors flared up at one of the people who arrived in the city, and he's keeping an eye on them, but waiting further orders.
Is this man just a traveler? Is he a construction worker? What is he?
Uh, Apparently, he wants to open a business in your city.
A business.
Yeah,
What kind of business?
a clothing store.
Clothing store. I'll inform Dennis that I want an eye kept on him I don't want him to be immediately arrested, but like I also want it clocked into if he talks with anyone in private or if he discusses anything with anybody, like and tries and does it like discreetly. I want it clocked. I want it registered.
The only risk Dennis fears is that the man will just disappear in the city and they'll lose track of him.
You're right. You're right. I want you to engineer a case for him to be arrested. Like if he like does like a minor like thing that's technically against the law, but people usually wouldn't care.
Listen, you can always find some technicality to be like, we need to question you,
That's
sir.
what I mean.
Please,
Yeah.
please follow us. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like find a reason to arrest him,
is-
make the case.
Is this bag of cocaine yours? I think it is. Come with me, sir.
Fucking no. See, the problem is that actually wouldn't work because it'd be like Brick, like, oh, this bag of cocaine yours. Start snorting it.
Yes, but this is Dennis and his people handling. So
This is Dennis and his people handling it. Yeah, yeah. In that case, yeah, I want them to do that.
But there is also a message from for you, Daniel. Another important. This one is an actual important visitor that has arrived with little to no notice. A representative from the Bene Gesserit order wishes to speak with you.
Well, of course, it is an honor. Internally, Daniel's like, God fucking damn it, fucking shit. I don't like talking to people. Why do they keep coming to my house?
Fortunately, you have dived into the fucking deep end.
Grunt's be like, these are nobodies. Why would you care about them? Meanwhile, every secret fucking society is is in my bedroom.
Listen, you decided to take that order from that assassination mission from the Bene Galaxia. It's all downhill from there.
I just thought they wanted a guy dead. I didn't. They wanted the guy dead. If Daniel knew this would mean I'd be getting fucking Ixian technology and Ben and Gesserit witches in my office, I wouldn't have. He wouldn't have fucking taken the job.
By the time you get to your office, they are the Bene Gesserit entourage is about half an hour away.
All right. Well, as usual, he'll have Scott with him because, I mean, Scott. I can't tell if that was Grunt like laughing because I'm being something dumb.
I'm just coughing. Fine.
I don't know, Grunt. You've magnified me. I don't trust you.
Can't have shit in this game.
You did this, Grunt.
You did.
But yeah, no, I will have Scott with me because Daniel has his air at these meetings, so we can learn. And you know what? I think it would be improper to exclude my wonderful Bene Gesserit advisor from a meeting with the representatives from her order.
Yeah, I would say this. Actually, this seems like an appropriate picture. I am indulging myself a bit, but at this point, why?
He's gonna just be a shadow. That's not going to be a face.
Let me.
It's just gonna be nothing. A blank screen. A blank screen with like an impression of tits. That's what it's gonna be.
Let me find like a proper.
What are you, iJub? you don't have the photo?
I have the photo. I'm looking for a name. Give me a second. No, I did not. There we go. The name generator has saved my ass. What the fuck are these names? I take that back.
Okay, take your time. We still have 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You've accomplished so much in such a short amount of time. Benefit of only having 2 to 3 players.
Sure. No, you'll see because it should show up in the updates list when I create the entity.
Ah, nice.
Um, that's just mostly to like help you not have to like, okay, well, what did change? Where's the new stuff? Just see
I
it
was
there.
thinking
Oh,
so.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Brick to come up to me and tell me he bagged a Ben Gesserit so I can inform him that he's in the esteemed company of the leaders of great houses, the Emperor's own men, and also the Emperor himself. He should be proud. It's an exclusive club.
There you go. As yeah, well,
Yeah, that looks like a grunt NPC.
as you prepare as best as you can in the short time, Dennis has already has the man in custody uh, on the charge of apparently they found some illegal substances he was trying to smuggle in, and they have to question him thoroughly now. And these investigations
And
can take up to a day or so. Just how bureaucracy is.
it's how it is. Hey, listen, this is a city of law and order now.
Truly. But as uh, you, I assume it's who are you bringing to this meeting?
It is Scott the heir,
Yeah.
because Daniel, takes him to important meetings, and it's also, the Bene Gesserit, because
Yes.
it would just seem like, I don't know, some kind of snub, or like in some way improper to exclude my Bene Gesserit advisor from a meeting I'm having with a member of her order.
Yes. And yeah, the entourage arrives. It's a bunch of people, and as soon as kind of like they're led by Brick, who hasn't made
Brick,
any
shut your
rude
fucking
comments,
mouth. Do not say anything.
has learned this time.
This one will actually kill you.
As soon as they walk in, and it's just one person. The rest of the kind of like the escort kind of stays outside of the office. Fiala, this isn't just a Bene Gesserit. This is a revered mother.
Ooh.
This is a very important person. This is not just your superior. This is like your superior's superior.
Don't fuck up.
As she kind of like, even with the grace she is moving, there is a certain kind of like, there's the air in the room has just got so much tenser. As I'm not sure how Fiala is reacting to this.
I assume there's no formal greenness there unless she's
No.
spoken to, so Briella would keep that same simple smile on her face, keep her like in that pose of like staying behind and letting Daniel tell her what she needs to be done. But if anyone rolls it inside of her, it's basically she's gotten a little tense. The smile is a little more tense, stiff, as
As
she
yeah,
understands the danger.
she takes a seat. Says, "My lord, thank you for greeting us on such a short notice. I am revered mother Virus."
So again, probably unnoticeable to most people, probably very noticeable to the Bene Gesserits in the room, of a quarter of a second. Shock in Daniel's form. Oh, oh, my lady, I is an honor.
Sure it is. I come to you with good intentions. Hopefully, this meeting will be as fruitful as I hope it will be.
The only hope.
It has come to my attention, my lord, that, well, you've been involved in quite some dangerous affairs especially for a house of your stature.
It is turbulent waters, yes.
And I shall put this as simple as possible. As she looks at you, Fiala, and says, do they know that you can recognize face dancers, my dear?
I assume she means by the way that Fiala had to recognize with the smell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my lady. Yes.
There's a hint of annoyance. And she smiles and says, very well. And then she looks back at you, Daniel, and says, this information will not leave this room, my lord. And I say this with as much candor as I can muster. If your enemies, our enemies, know of this, you will in fact endanger the entire Imperium. Have you ever wondered why the Benetelaxu can't just take over everything, everyone? Why their agents always seem to be just that one step out of sync?
If I had to take a guess, my lady, the fact that the representative was quite unpleased with one of your order's presence in my court died. Wager your order has something to do with that?
Yes, they are quite afraid of us, and as rightfully they should be. We have been keeping them in their place for quite some time now. I think they've gotten used to it. Maybe it's even an instinct at this point. But still, unfortunately, I should have sent someone more experienced here. That was a miscalculation on my part, but I do hope you will provide me the courtesy of not revealing such an important, valuable secret.
Of course. I have. Well, my deals with the Talax were broken, and I don't think I'd want to make more enemies.
I think you do. Does anyone else outside this room know?
The only one who has an inkling, my spy master, Dennis, a man I trust implicitly. He is loyal. And even then, all he knows is that there is a method to detect them. He does not know it's related to anything of your order.
Keep it that way. And maybe you want to reinforce the gravity of the situation if he doesn't know it already.
Oh, I'll be having words with him. He's a smart man. If I tell him to not pursue the subject further and to not mention it to others, it won't leave his lips.
I believe smugglers of your caliber knew how to keep their mouths shut, so I have no worry about that. Fiala, if you might escort me outside, please. I believe this meeting is concluded unless there's something else you wish to know, or is anything unclear?
There's one thing, actually. Lady, revered mother, if you could follow me, I think there's a man that we found, and it's, has struck us as very suspicious. Suspicious in a way that resembles a certain group. If he's who I think he is, I think, at the very least, good confirmation. as assuming if she does follow, I would take her to a little chained man that we found.
I'm confused a bit. Like, what do you want? We want her to like confirm he's a face dancer?
Basically, it's like if she's a
Mm.
face dancer, basically it's just like, okay, fine, I'll just kill him immediately after I interrogate him, or if you want to fucking take him, I don't care.
Um,
I
kind of
guess
like
it's just like, yeah,
she shakes her head, says, "I'm sure Fiala here can do that for me. I cannot really. I have many other things to attend to."
I understand. Merely her competence was called into question by yourself. But if you have faith in her, then I have faith in her.
She was only. It's not her competency. It was her experience. All of our sisters are adequately trained, I assure you.
Well, that is good then. Well, Fiala, your revered mother has asked you a service. Don't think you could keep her waiting.
Of course.
As yeah, she will stand up and follow her outside as she kind of like walks. She talks to you very like kind of like hushed whispers. At the very least, the guards can't really hear it. As is your assignment here going all right? Is there anything else I
Yes.
should be aware of? I believe
it is-
we have been played a bit too much.
It is going well, Mother. Much better than I thought for such a. It's interesting, at the very least. There is a fear that the Benitalaxu have an interest not in this house, but in another as well. It might be more.
You believe they wish to take over the planet, which is why I agreed to send you here as a countermeasure to that. I entrusted you to that man and hoped he would place you somewhere a bit better as she like glances around the not so luxurious
Fuck you,
spouse.
bitch. Fuck you, too.
It has its charms if you look underneath, ma'am.
It's not.
At the very least.
I don't care about appearances. I care about competency, and at the very least, they do seem competent.
I was about to say, Peter's the only person who sees my competence. Fuck these people.
It is, if nothing else, it is a very interesting task with the Benitalaxu putting not just agents in such small houses, but apparently there has been jobs they have requested of them high enough level that even I am surprised by it. And it seems that they have been at least entangling themselves to have houses at their service. Maybe they're starting from the roots to get to the tree.
Do your best then. Make sure that whatever their plan here will fail. And know that I will be keeping an eye on you and this planet.
Please, just let me go. I just want to be free. Well, this is God damn it.
Of course. If it is all right, Reverend Mother, may I ask a question?
Yes.
This man, did he exactly how did he convince you to freely give out one of your agents? So
Who said anything about freely?
I guess how did he convince you at all?
Child, this is. Not sure if this. I should slap you for the question or be amused by it. The fact that don't realize how much above you this whole entire situation is. It's
Forgive me
a
for
bit amusing, to say the least. I will forgive this curiosity, as this is quite an unusual situation. Know that there are many great interests across the universe, and the man that has asked you here has, well, seems to be adept at falling in the right favors. And, well, I would also like to see the Benetlak to fail. This part of the galaxy is under my supervision. Every win I can get against them, I will take it. After all, it only takes one of us to make legions of them shatter in fear. And that alone sends the correct message.
Thank you for the lesson, Reverend Mother.
And do please keep such details to yourself before revealing them to the general public. Remember, my dear, information is power. I know your training was done quite recently, but this was a misstep on your part that I had to come and clean up.
Forgive
And,
me.
well, the only reason I am not killing these people is because, well, apparently they still have purpose.
Fiala nods.
Now, we go and confirm whatever the Lord wishes for you to confirm. I'll
Of
be on
course.
my way. As yeah, the entourage and the envoys will leave as you return back to Daniel and Scott and Dennis, who are waiting next to the
I think
holding cell.
before she does after they leave, there's like a moment where like you can see like Fiala's hands are shaking as she like tries to calm herself down a little bit before taking a breath and going back towards Daniel and the rest.
I'll say this, yeah, like a revered mother could just orchestrate this entire city to be just wiped off the map. She really wanted to. Um, there's some political plays behind this shit. You can't even like. Hmm. But yeah, being nervous is a correct response. But as you
Yeah.
manage to calm down before returning to Daniel, I'm not sure if Daniel, is there any conversations you would like to have with Dennis and Scott will unfortunately be T-posing for this entire duration.
Impressing on Dennis that the knowledge that there was a way to track face dancers is not to pass by anyone else. If basically inform him that we have been told that that is very secret information, and that we are not to let that information pass on.
Dennis will say, my God, my throat is dry. Says, well, my lord,
It's okay, Dennis. Take a drink.
I have already informed our operatives that these devices merely detect a certain new drug that's experimental on the market, quite dangerous and volatile.
Good, good. Love to keep it that way. It's a very sensitive information. If only, yes, there is Ben and Jesuit. If only we had known how sensitive information was beforehand. You have a wonderful conversation with your Reverend Mother.
A fitting lesson, at the very least, my lord. I do apologize for putting you on the spot in such a way. The error was mine.
Good. Make sure an error doesn't happen again.
Of course,
They're
my lord.
proven better than Havelock, but you still have time to catch up.
I understand, my lord.
Anyways, besides chastising you, I assume that's what she was doing. She had that air about her. It's an air I have with Scott sometimes.
Yes. The Reverend Mother was reminding me about some things I had forgotten so foolishly.
Good. Good. Well then, accompany me, witch. We're going to go make sure the man that Dennis has captured is the face dancer, and if he is, we are going to we'll try to extract information out of him. On the most likely chance that we can't, he'll be dead regardless.
Well, funnily enough, you do have one momentum, so you could just flat out use that to detect. Or you can try and like counter roll him.
If it's all right with you, Zaz, I think I would use that momentum to just flat out find out.
Yeah,
So,
it's almost at the end of the session, and momentum doesn't carry over. So yeah, you can.
Yeah, you as soon as you walk in the room, there it is, Fiona. That just very barely perceptible smell, that odor that's just once you know what you're looking for, it becomes easier to notice it.
do I come in contact with this guy in any way outside of that, or do I?
I mean,
Like,
you're
is
in the
there
same
just?
room. That as soon as the lot of you enter, he goes like, "Sir, I do believe there's been some sort of misunderstanding. Those chemicals weren't mine. I,
I take a look at Fiala.
She like looks at him for a while before discreetly like trying to make sure he doesn't see her at the very least, giving him a nod, making sure he doesn't
Yeah.
see her. And
Standing a bit farther away, does not like go right up to him. But Daniel will simply say this. And question: do I know that trying to interrogate a face dancer is a losing proposition?
I mean, you've seen Havelock. You think you can interrogate Havelock?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I can interrogate Havelock. I
Yeah.
think if I break that man's bones, he won't care. So yeah, I'll just gesture for one of the men to come in with a weapon,
Yeah.
a ranged weapon, because I can assume we took it. This guy doesn't have shields on him.
No.
Uh, maybe the Talax will find your body. Maybe they won't. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And just instruct him to kill him.
The guard just like levels the rifle and just kind of like shoots once, and the guy has like a face of shock as he like flops on the table dead.
That man, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to look at him and I'll say this. You executed no one here today. Nothing happened here.
Understood, my lord.
Basically, yes. It's nobody can know that we found a Talaxu. Nobody can know that we killed one. In the future, congratulations, you have a new job. You're my face dancer executioner.
I will say this is one of like Dennis's men. Like this isn't Brick's person, by the way. Just as an FYI.
I know, but this is still Daniel's like doing this. Just like saying like, yeah, you're sworn to an additional level of security, and like you are the only man who will be handling this business now to compartmentalize it, and so he's getting paid more.
Promotion.
He is now, in fact, the Talaxu exterminator. I hope he enjoys it. And before this guy was innocent, there was no innocent face dancer. Shut up, Mac.
But yeah.
It's just an innocent Ben and Gesserit. It's just an innocent, member of the Jihad. It's just an innocent follower of Leader II. And no.
Yeah, with that, Dennis I will make sure that the body is never found.
Good. Good. They'll get the message when he doesn't respond in.
With
And
that, hmm?
there's going to be one joke as he's walking away. Maybe you would think after three failed attempts and a dead face dancer, they would have weeded out their weak links, but maybe the Flaxu are just that incompetent.
Yes, yeah. Assumingly. Yeah, with that, we will end the session on that high note.
Jeez, Daniel's regretting taking this